Welcome to the lesson recording for Computer Fundamentals Week 6. And you can see that in Week 6, we go February 11 through 17. And Week 6 is going to wrap up the Advanced Analysis Unit. And as you know, Advanced Analysis Unit is all about using spreadsheets at a higher level. And this will include sections 5 and 6. Last week we did sections 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for this week, of course, on Tuesday, you'll do the Class Connect write-up. And you can do the section 5 work and do project 3. Then on Thursday you have this work down below, section 6 and project 4, and then the exam. Again, I set up the Tuesday and the Thursday just as a way for you to schedule your work. You're welcome to set it to do it whenever you want, as long as you get it finished by the end of the week, the 17th. But I suggest you get it finished by Friday, which would be the 15th. Now before we jump into the work, a couple of reminders. Here's a passing plan. So you can click right here, look at the passing plan on how you could get about 635 points, which would be a low D for those people who just want to pass, don't want anything more than that. So that passing plan can really help you out. All right, jumping down into week 6. So here you are in week 6. And actually, before I start that, I do want to remind you that you don't need to want to jump right into this work. If you have old work to do, get it finished. Like last week, we had the finishing plan. Get the finishing plan done. That'll take you about 10 minutes to do this, and it's an easy 50 points. Do the previous Class Connect write-ups, week 1, week 2, week 3, etc. Get those things done. Get the quizzes done. So do your old work before you turn in the new work. But obviously, I want to have this recording ready for those who are ready to move ahead. So getting into section 5. In section 5, we're looking at conditional formatting. And conditional formatting is when you do in your spreadsheets that you have the cells change based on the value that goes in the cells. For instance, if you want to figure out which classes you have that are above 60% and which are below 60%, you can have a spreadsheet that would automatically change the color. So you had all of your classes listed: geography, math, language arts. If geography was over 60%, it would automatically change the word geography to green. If math was below 60%, it would automatically change that to red. So it would automatically do that, so then you can kind of tell the condition of the cells. So that's called conditional formatting, to where the cells change automatically based on the value. Then this unit, we're going to look at conditional formatting in Excel. We're going to generate, format, and modify spreadsheets. So let's look at conditional formatting. Here's a spreadsheet we're going to take a look at. And the user enters 3 values, and the spreadsheet performs 3 different functions depending on what happens. So let's take a look at this. So here's the spreadsheet. So you can see that if a number is greater than 100, it's going to change. If a number is less than 20, it'll change. And if a number is, and if the sum is greater than 200, then it's going to change. So if I go up here, I'm going to change this to 50, and let's see what happens. Oops. Oh, I need to enable editing. If I change this to 50, nothing happens. If I change it to 90, change it to 95, and now you can see what happened here. I changed it to 95, so the whole sum of all this is greater than 200, so it made it red. Now if I put this at 105, now it fulfills 2 of these requirements. The item is over 100, so it changed colors, and the total, the sum of all these, is over 200. This says if there's a minimum below 20, so let's change this to 19 and see what happens. Okay, now let's see what happened. So one entry is over 100, one entry is below 20, and then the total is greater than 200. So you can see how these things changed right here based on what we told it to do. So that's what conditional formatting is. Now you can change it manually, but then every time numbers change, you'll have to go back and change it manually again. So it's better if you let it do things automatically. Now what I want you to do is, please, this is really important, probably more important than you've had so far in this class. You need to watch these videos. These videos show you how to change the formatting. Now the other thing about this, of course, is that in these videos, this might be a version of Office, or like this might be Office 2007 or something. If you have a different version, you may have to do a search online how to do conditional formatting in whatever version you have. Or if you have OpenOffice and you're using that, you might need to do a search online how to do conditional formatting, because I cannot possibly create videos for every possibility. So you have to do a little bit of research yourself, and that's one thing about using technology, isn't it? Knowing how to use the tool that you have. So I'm leaving it up to you. You do the search to find how to do conditional formatting for the version of Office that you happen to have, or for the version of Excel or a spreadsheet program you have in OpenOffice. And you can find all those directions. You'll probably find YouTube videos that'll show you how to do this. But still, watch this presentation, because it will show the steps that one would take. Make sure you do that. Okay, now you're going to give it a try. So what it wants you to do is you're going to open up this spreadsheet and go to the Con1 tab and see if you can do some formatting. So this is just for practice. So you'll open this up, and then it says, so down here, go to Condition 1 tab. So down at the bottom, Condition 1 tab, and go through here and practice with this. See if you put appropriate conditional formatting in the 3 cells. And now applying multiple colors. So conditional formatting allows you to create to 3 conditions. So you have there's 3 conditions right here as you have on a spreadsheet. So the nice thing about this is some numbers might show up in red, some might show up in yellow, some might show up in green. So red would be, hey, caution, we're getting over 100. Yellow would be, or red would be, warning, we're over 100. Yellow would be, hey, our numbers are rising. Green would be that that our numbers aren't too bad. So this would be another way to do conditional formatting using the red, yellow, green format. Watch this video. Again, as I said before, watch these videos. They'll be very helpful to you. Now let's go back to the Class Connect write-up, because I only answered one question so far. What is conditional formatting? We did that. Number 7, explain what a ledger design is. Why is it better to have cells change colors automatically? So remember that. Okay, number 7. Okay, ledgers is that every other row is a color, making it easy to distinguish between 2 rows. So then you can have, well, let's see if it shows the example. Look at that ledger. So if these were carried out, if they're really long and lots of information, it would be very easy to stay on the correct line, wouldn't it? So that's what a ledger design is. So ledger design is when alternating row, every other row is the same color. That's what ledger design is. And the nice thing about this, if I hit the, or not the back button, if I go to the Class Connect write-up, the next question says, why is it better to have the cells change automatically than you change them manually? Well, you could change them manually, but you lose your formatting. So you want them to do it automatically, so then everything stays the same when you insert rows and such. So it's better to have it done manually or automatically, so that you do not lose your formatting on your rows when you insert new rows, delete rows, and things like that. So we've answered both of those Class Connect questions. And again, watch this video, all about what ledger design is. Now next, this is going to show you how to do the ledger design, the alternating colors. Let's take a look at the write-up. What function do you use to format the alternating rows? And as you format the alternating rows, the function you use is the mod function. The mod function is the function you use to format the rows, and you'll see on the next slide how you do that. So you use a row command that helps, but the mod function is what helps change the colors, because it does a little bit of math and then it determines whether the row is an even numbered row or an odd numbered row. Then it would color all the even number rows green, all the odd number rows would stay white. So it does a little bit of math with that mod function. So here's the presentation, and you can see that this would be the exact command that you would use to change the rows. So what this does is it'll take the row number, like row number 1 divided by 2, row number 2 divided by 2, row number 3 divided by 2, and then it'll either get a 0 remainder or it'll get 1 remainder, and then it can put colors on the rows based on whether they're an odd number row or an even number row. So what function? We talked about that. Get the exact mod formula you would use to format ledger rows, and I just showed you that, didn't I? But again, you need to watch this presentation where it explains how to put in that mod. Now this is some practice. You can use that spreadsheet that you had open before and go to Cond 1 tab. So this is the one they had you open before, and go to the Cond 4. So here's the Cond 4 tab. So then they'd have you work through this and see if you could do the ledger, the conditional ledger work on this spreadsheet. So that's a little bit of practice for you. So that's a little bit of practice for you. So work through this, see if you can figure it out. Okay, next, the summary. So this talks all about conditional formatting and all of that. So you learned all of this about formatting and doing the conditional formatting, which is an interesting thing to be able to do. Okay, next, now in this assignment, you're going to do conditional formatting on the spreadsheets that you used before, and these are the spreadsheets about the mob activity. Remember you doing those? So you're going to pull up your most recent one, and you're going to add shading to the activity by date table. Every other row is going to have a particular color. So you have that thing that has about 80 mobsters in it or whatever it is. You want every row to have alternating colors, and you want to use that mod function to make that happen. That's one thing you'll do. Then the next thing you'll do, you'll add conditioning formatting to the analysis by mobster to highlight all the payouts that are greater or equal to 3 million in one color and greater or equal to 4 million in a different color. And here's the assignment document. So the assignment document explains exactly what you're going to do. Not much different from the previous document. So that's the Unit 8, Assignment 3. All right, moving on. Now we're into Section 6. Now Section 6, we're going to talk about using multiple worksheets. Let's go to the Class Connect write-up. And Section 6, explain the difference between a workbook and a worksheet. In Excel, what are the steps to add a new worksheet? Okay, so in Section 6, notice in our mobster example that we're using a single spreadsheet, multiple tables, and other information. If we added some charts and more information, then it would be really too much information for us to use effectively. So on the mob spreadsheet, if we deleted part of one row in one section, then we would lose everything else that's next to it. So we want to maybe use different spreadsheets. So in this section, we're going to work on multiple spreadsheets, generate, format, and modify spreadsheets. So worksheet and a workbook, the differences. The main Excel file is called a workbook, but then a workbook contains multiple worksheets. So, so if I open mine up right here, I'm going to open this up. This is called ITT01. So at the top, this is the workbook. Make sure I'm not telling you wrong. So that's the workbook, and then it has multiple worksheets. So here's the workbook, and then if I look down below, look at all these different worksheets that are part of this workbook. So I just click on all these tabs, and those are the different worksheets. And you can see that each worksheet is named. You can switch back and forth between them by clicking on the tabs at the bottom. So you can create a new worksheet, call whatever you want to call it. Now, it says, let's revisit an example from earlier. In this example, you have a list of transactions and a summary of those transactions. We want to move it. So what they want you to do is go ahead and open up that file, and you're going to practice with this. So first you're going to insert. So insert worksheet, and then you're going to put it in there. So I'm going to go back to that one that just had me open up. Up here at the top, we'll do insert. And actually, this is a different version than they have. So I'm going to go. Well, here's one way I can do it right down here at the bottom. If I hit that tab, then it inserts it. But in this version of Excel, see how it says insert. So I don't see worksheet up there. So I'm going to go here and look at insert new worksheet. At the bottom, you can insert a worksheet. Cells. So I'm on sheet 4 right here. I go up to the cells. Tell you, this is extremely frustrating having the directions different for different versions. So right up here, I can hit in the cells area, I can hit insert, insert sheet. So now you can see down here, put in sheet 5. So I can do it a couple ways. For my version, I can click down here to insert a sheet, or I can go up here to insert a sheet. Now the reason it's important to know different ways is because the Class Connect write-up question says, what are the steps to add a new worksheet to a workbook? So just tell me one way that you can do that. Now they're going to have you practice with that one. So click on the tab EX7. So here's the tab EX7. Select the range from the edit menu, cut, then go to summary and paste. So they wanted us to just take this And then I could just right click, cut, and then I forgot where they told me to put it, the summary tab. Well, I don't see a summary tab. So I'm just going to create a separate spreadsheet. I hit Control V and I can paste. I took it out of that one and put it into another one. And I could rename this if I want. I could right click on it, hit rename, summary, or I could have just double clicked and typed in. So there's two ways to rename a sheet. So we had to change the width and everything, so then I got that fixed. So the reason you need to look at that is that you're going to make some changes to that Mobster document. Now here's some more work you can do. They want you to move information from another tab into a summary tab. So you're just practicing with that one that they had you open a little bit ago. And now analyzing the references. You can also analyze a lot more of the data that you have on your spreadsheet. And you can have some things set up in one spreadsheet that would affect other spreadsheets. Now this talks about when to use separate spreadsheets, when to not use separate spreadsheets. You can see all the different questions that you can ask yourself. In summary, look at how to insert and rename worksheets, copy and move between, and the reference data. In assignment 4, what you're going to do with this one, you're going to have your Mobster document open, and you're going to move information into different tabs. So when you finish, you should have your regular source data tab, and then you're going to have by Mobster tab, by crime tab, and other tabs. You're going to have 4 different worksheets in that Mobster workbook. 4 different worksheets in that Mobster workbook. There's the review that we went through and all of this analyzing the advanced analysis unit. Then you have the unit exam, and as always, there's unit exam preview right there, and then the unit exam. So use the preview to help yourself. So in this work, you're going to do project 2, which is conditional, or I'm sorry, you're going to do project 3, which is some ledger formatting and some conditional formatting. And then in project 4, you're going to take that Mobster document, that Mobster spreadsheet, the original one, and create new tabs and put new information in the Mobster one. Make it look different. Okay, that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching. And again, we're in week 6, so we're more than halfway through the course. If you're behind, you really need to work hard to get caught up. Thanks, everyone. Bye.